This week on Money Matters, gold prices continue to seek new lows in the global market, and with this comes more demand. We'll look at the yellow metal that's seeing a boom in investment. Born as a free messaging app, Kakao revolutionized the way smartphone users communicate. Now the brand is making waves both home and abroad. Hitting to win, Korea's female golf players have long been logging record victories on the global stage. We'll look at what these players and the game is worth. What stories matter in Asia? We'll look at the changing landscape of business in Korea and the rest of Asia on Money Matters. Hello everyone, I'm Kim Il-sun. Thanks for joining us once again. Today on our front page, we're looking at the precious metal, gold. With the prices logging 5-year lows, investors are looking to capitalize on rock bottom cost and are snapping up gold bars, accessories, and more. We'll look at trade of the yellow metal in Korea and the wild swing in markets. Sales at Korea Gold Exchange have been picking up at a rapid pace since July. From 1 kilogram to 10 gram and 3.75 gram gold bars, production has been in full swing, creating products waiting to be snatched up by eager investors. The change in market prices are reflected immediately in gold bullion, making it an attractive investment option.
주식이나 부동산 대비해서 환급성이 뛰어나다는 장점이 있습니다. 그래서 실물을 보유하고 있다가 국제가가 올랐을 때 언제든지 차익 실현이 가능한 골드바 선호 현상이 주식이나 부동산 대비해서 더 높다고 볼 수 있겠습니다.
On July 24th, gold prices dropped to a 5.5-year low at $1,077 per ounce, recording an $800 plunge. With this slide in prices, Korea Gold Exchange posted record sales of the bullion in the month of July. Per gram, gold prices have nosedived from the previous $60 to $40 range. This is a 1 kilogram gold bar which is sought out by those who hold impressive assets. But recently, this 10-gram mini gold bar is seeing heated demand. It fetches around $350 and is popular among everyone from office workers to homemakers and even celebrities who are looking to stock up on tangible assets and get their hands on the yellow metal. Demand for gold accessories, including bracelets, have also soared, jumping over fourfold compared to last year. Gold prices continue to reach fresh lows as investors who had been buying in the yellow metal are now dumping it in anticipation of a US Fed rate hike. But in Korea, demand still remains high as people look to capitalize on record low prices. Conventionally, Koreans have long enjoyed the culture of holding on to gold, with most owning at least 1 gram of the yellow metal. Gold rings of 3.75 grams, traditionally given to children on their first birthdays, are also back in high demand. But this boom in the gold market is not only seen in Korea. According to the Wall Street Journal, in Hong Kong, gold and silver vendors have also seen a climb in sales by 20 to 30% in the conventionally slow month of July. And experts say this kind of demand for yellow metal will not easily subside. The increase in demand for the precious metal is evident in Korea's gold market, which took off last year. The average volume in daily trade has seen a dramatic hike.
금융시장이 불안정하면서 금 가격도 불안정한 모습을 보이고 있습니다. 그래서 이럴 때 금 투자하시는 분들은 다소 장기적인 안목에서 좀 투자에 신중을 기할 필요가 있다고 생각이 듭니다. 분산 투자 측면에서 아주 중요한 하나의 투자 수단이 되고 있습니다.
A continual drop in prices may present problems for those holding onto gold as assets, not to mention the risk of having it stolen or lost. Buyers also need to remember gold bars or goods are not exempt from the 10% value-added tax.
아무래도 이제 가격 변동 리스크라고 하는 부분이 가장 클 것 같고요. 가격이 아무래도 하락하면 그만큼 이제 수익률 저하라고 하는 측면에서 상당히 이제 손실을 겪을 수 있기 때문에 그 부분이 크다라고 봅니다. 과거에는 사실 금 가격의 변동성이 다른 어떤 원자재에 비해서는 상당히 작았는데 워낙 이제 투기적인 어떤 수요에 관심이 많아지다 보니까 가격 변동성도 상당히 커졌다라는 점인 거고요. 그런 부분이 일단 가격 하락 리스크에 가장 좀 유의를 하셔야 될 것 같습니다.
Korea's benchmark Kospi has been mostly on the downward trend over the past week, while in neighboring China, authorities have hinted at more stimulus for the economy. Investors around the world have been eagerly watching to see what decision comes out of the U.S. Federal Reserve on Thursday local time. We'll get a close look at some other stories from the week with Arirang.
Thank you, Ilsan. I'll start you off with some of the top headlines from Korea. The Bank of Korea froze its key interest rate for the third consecutive month on Friday, leaving the benchmark rate at an all-time low of 1.5%. BOK Governor Lee Ju-yeol said the decision comes as the central bank takes a wait-and-see approach to gauge how the rate hike decision from the U.S. Federal Reserve pans out and how market conditions in China settle. He added the country's fundamentals are strong enough to withstand any immediate impacts from a looming U.S. rate liftoff, but if combined with other risks like a further slowdown in China or steeper dips in commodity prices, it could present larger problems for growth down the line. And the global television market has seen slack demand in the first half of the year, but smart TVs are picking up in growth, taking up over 40% in overall sales by volume, according to market research firm DisplaySearch. Since 2013, smart TVs have been logging an on-year growth of 13% in the first 6 months of the year. This year, more than 40 million smart TVs were sold around the world from January to June. And driving this trend are Korean smart TV makers Samsung and LG, which hold the largest share in connected TVs. As of last year, Samsung held nearly 28% of the global market share, while LG took up about 15%. And now a look at some stories from other parts of Asia. China's post-80s generation. They're known for growing up during the country's period of rapid economic development under the one-child policy, and consequently they live with greater affluence and are said to know how to spend. Many are now at the optimal age for marriage and are coming to Korea to take advantage of the country's wedding preparation services. This is because Korea is known for its advanced market that offers better services and quality for the prices that it comes with. Over the past 3 years, the number of Chinese that had their wedding photo shoots in Korea has jumped 9-fold, and wedding gifts and related goods now make up around 60% of department store sales that go to Chinese customers. And with the post-80s generation digging deeper into their pockets to spend, Korean companies are also stepping up marketing efforts to cater to their new clientele. And competition's heating up among Korean companies to break into Vietnam's rapidly expanding alcoholic beverage market. Last year, Vietnam placed first in Southeast Asia in terms of beer consumption, drinking up a total of 3.1 billion liters. As of 2013, foreign companies held 73% in beer market share compared to local brands, with beer from the US and Germany making up roughly half of all imports. Shipments from Korea swelled by 446% on year in 2014 to $60,000, but it still stood at 13th out of all foreign imports. Competition is expected to get stiffer, with Japan's Sapporo planning on expanding production out of Vietnamese factories, and Thailand's Sing also forecast to enter the Vietnamese market. And a new magazine set to roll out in Japan in October is already making headlines for its exorbitant price. Targeting the female reader in the upper class, the first issue is going for a whopping 3.3 million yen, or roughly $28,000. The publication is said to carry the latest updates on luxury brands, and each month it's expected to come with different complimentary gifts and a fluctuating price tag. The publisher said it aims to realize the dream of being able to sit down and leaf through the world's exclusive luxury goods in one spot and alleviate the inconveniences women in the top 1% income bracket experience when shopping. The introduction of this magazine comes in the face of a growing number of super rich in the country and more specialized services to cater to the insatiable appetite they have for high-end goods.
$8 billion operation, a 35-year-old new CEO. That's the current snapshot of Kakao Corporation, a merged outfit of Daum and Kakao, a major Korean portal and a mobile platform, respectively. What used to be the major internet portal, Daum, has merged with a startup messenger service called Kakao Talk, and their combined corporation has decided to use the brand Kakao because more and more internet platforms are transitioning from a PC-based to a mobile-based operation. Kakao, having 97% market penetration in the Korean smartphone messenger industry, is receiving hot attention. We'll find out why. We have Ole Dubunov, a strategist at the Asia Institute, joining us. Ole, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Comparing the pre-merger and the post-merger stage of Daum and Kakao, what do we see as a major move and the major new business models they introduced to the marketplaces?
Well, if we look at Daum, in the past they were mostly monetizing on advertising. In terms of Kakao, they have been monetizing through the gaming revenue, so connecting users and game studios, but also through advertising, about 20% by connecting brands who want to advertise and make promotions to the 40 million user base.
I see. Well, speaking of user bases, they have user bases in the overseas market as well. What do we see in their activities in making the more inroads in the overseas market, and what kind of investment are they placing to grab the market?
Well, they have about 10 million active users overseas, and right now, as the opportunities for growth in the Korean market are drying up and they have to test new business models, they are actively expanding to Southeast Asia by acquiring in May a social media app called Path with about 10 million active users in Indonesia. And Kakao is thinking that this will be a start market to expand into this area.
Well, I see there are many different messenger services similar to Kakao and with a different focus and different market segmentation. What kind of threats and competition do we see for Kakao out there, and what is Kakao doing to beat against their competition?
Well, immediately you have the giants in the industry, which are indirect competitors such as WhatsApp, acquired by Facebook for $19 billion and has about 700 million users. You have also Viber, which has about 240 million users acquired by Japanese Rakuten. But also you have direct competitors such as Chinese WeChat with about 440 million users and NHN's Line, the biggest company in Japan, Thailand, and Taiwan.
That's Naver's Line as well, right?
That's Naver's company, which is curiously a South Korean company. If we look at the business models of these direct competitors, WeChat and Line, they have originally copied Kakao Talk's business model based on gaming and advertising. Now, what is interesting, because Kakao has appointed the brand new CEO, they are looking to expand new monetization opportunities. They have been testing about 7 or 8 different models, such as Kakao Taxi. Now, Kakao Taxi is a cab-hailing app used in Korea by about 240,000 times daily since April and already grabbing 70% of the market share.
70% already?
Yes, and they also have come out with Kakao Pay, a new kind of mobile payment wallet where you store your credit cards on your Kakao Pay platform and then you pay at the merchants just as you would pay with your credit card, just with a password.
So Kakao Taxi is on the transportation sector, while the Kakao Pay is on the financial sector. So Kakao is hitting all the ground. They are keeping themselves very busy, it looks like.
They need brand new business models simply because the messenger app is increasingly commoditized. And also you have expected competition from WeChat and from Line in traditional modes of businesses, especially gaming. So the revenue growth is slowing down. So you really need to find out new openings in terms of monetizing your user base and increasing the revenue per user. And especially what I think which will be important is the diversity in the workforce. Now, WeChat and Line are also Asian companies, but if we look at the success behind WhatsApp, with 700 million users, they have a very diverse workforce which knows exactly what the needs of each country and each market are. So they are able to lightning fast expand into these markets, grab market share. So I think for the success of Kakao Talk, this will be very important to find new ideas and find new business models, especially to welcome new fresh blood from overseas in their company.
So I guess the sophisticated business model that tailors the needs of the consumers is what's necessary out there.
Yes.
Well, quite a story on the messenger services. Thank you, Ole, for your report.
Thank you.
Last month, a Korean soccer player signed a 5-year contract with the Premier League team for $34 million, becoming the most expensive Asian player in football history. But he's just one of many athletes around the world boasting huge price tags for their physical talent and skills. On today's In Numbers, let's talk about some of the best paid athletes in the world and just how much they're really worth. Now, the Premier League includes some of the world's most treasured athletes, but it comes at a huge cost for the teams. Currently, the most expensive Premier League athlete is 24-year-old Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City. Now, it was reported that the English club made an offer of $90 million to have Bruyne transferred, an astonishing amount that set records across the board. Next on the list, midfielder Raheem Sterling, also of Manchester City, was offered $68 million for this season, another staggering sum. Other star players were also bid for millions and millions of dollars as well. But one player in particular made headlines across Asia, and that's Korea's very own Son Heung-min. Now, the 23-year-old forward signed a 5-year contract with the Tottenham Hotspur for $34 million, making him the most expensive player in Asia in all of football history. But Son Heung-min isn't the only athlete to hit the international playing field and rake in huge amounts of money. Asia's most successful golfer, Chae Kyung-ju, more commonly known as KJ Choi, has a career of 22 professional wins. And in 2011 alone, he earned over $5.2 million from tournaments and $6 million from commercial advertisements. Now, overall, he's considered one of the most successful golfers in the world with a career earning of over $32 million. Now, over in the major leagues, in 2013, baseball player Chu Shin-soo signed a 7-year contract with the Texas Rangers for $130 million, which will start out at around $18.6 million per year and increase with every passing season. Now, just last year, volleyball player Kim Yeon-kyung signed a 2-year contract with Turkish team Fenerbahce for $1.3 million a year. Now, those were the athletes who made it abroad, but what about within Korea? Well, one of the most well-paid athletes in the country can be found in baseball. Kim Tae-gyun of the Hanwha Eagles is said to earn $1.3 million a year. And soccer player Lee Dong-guk of Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors earns approximately $930,000 per year. Now, of course, you can't forget Korean women golfers who have been very successful both here and abroad. Well, Kim Hyo-ju of Lotte Group is said to earn $1 million a year. And finally, although they no longer may be competing, retired athletes Kim Yeona and Park Ji-sung are said to be paid an average of $850,000 for every commercial they appear in. Not too bad, eh? I guess all the blood, sweat, and tears really do pay off for these athletes. Well, that wraps up today's In Numbers. Stick around for more trending figures making headlines.
Out of the many different sports, there's one that Korean athletes particularly excel at, and that is golf. Just recently, Korea-born New Zealander Lydia Ko won the Avian Championship, becoming the youngest to win an LPGA major. On the back of stars like this, the Korean golf industry has seen significant growth. Seom Min-surang is here to tell us more.
That's right. The global success of Korean golf stars such as Lydia Ko, Park In-bi, or going back further, Park Se-ri, it has created a heightened interest in pro golf in general, and this in turn led to more people picking up the sport as a leisure activity. If we have a look at the numbers, back in 1992, only 2% of the population played golf, but by 2013, it increased to over 20%. So let's see how this popular sport is creating millions in economic impact. At a sprawling golf course in Gyeonggi-do province last week, a huge gallery was present to watch a KLPGA tournament unfold. With construction conglomerate Isu Group as the title sponsor, it was the season's third major tournament with a total $590,000 purse, $120,000 going to the winner. Due to stellar performances of the likes of Park Se-ri and Park In-bi, women's pro golf has a bigger following in Korea than men's. Including the main tour, there are 78 games in the KLPGA season, with 60 corporate sponsors taking part.
올 시즌에도 세계에서 한국 선수들이 연이어 우승을 차지하며 코리안 돌풍을 이어가고 있습니다. 특히 박인비 선수와 이보미 선수는 각각 미국과 일본에서 상금 순위 1위를 달리며 골프 한류에 앞장서고 있고요. 날이 갈수록 대회 수와 상금액이 늘어나고 대회장을 찾아주시는 갤러리 분들이 많아지고 있습니다.
Meanwhile, the clubs hosting the tournaments also benefit from increased visibility and added marketing effects. This competition alone attracted over 6,000 people.
많은 분들이 이 어떤 공중 매체를 통해서 저희 패럿 골프 컨트리 클럽을 갖다가 보실 수가 있고,
여자 대회 같은 경우는 세계 대회에서 두각을 나타내기 때문에 상당히 골퍼들이 상당히 관심들을 많이 갖고 있습니다. 따라서 여자 대회에 이걸 유치한다든가 여자 대회에 스폰서할 경우는 그만큼 광고 홍보 효과가 크기 때문에.
It's estimated that over 33 million Koreans last year visited one of the 500-odd golf courses available nationwide. That's at least 4 times the number of spectators for baseball, typically considered the most popular sport in Korea. One of the major driving forces behind the advancement of Korea's golf industry is the global success of its star players and the lucrative advertising deals they land. It's said that you can gauge an athlete's popularity by the number of corporate logos imprinted on their clothing. In the case of Chang Hana, the logo spotted on her head to toe represent over $250,000 in annual sponsorship. That's why pro golfers are often referred to as walking billboards.
When people would see or hear Michelle Wie on a sport news, they may associate her voice with Nike. Athlete endorsement can improve advertisement recall.
With the rising popularity of pro golf, many amateurs have picked up the sport as a hobby, leading to a boom in the golf equipment industry. One firm that has capitalized on this is Volvic, a maker of colored golf balls. It currently holds a 30% share in the local golf ball market, and by sponsoring LPGA players, it continues to raise its brand awareness overseas. Last year, it posted over $7 million in exports. But golf still remains an expensive leisure activity for most, including the green fee, caddy, and cart. It can cost north of $200 per person to use a golf course, and that's where screen golf comes into play. Now, with screen golf, you don't have to drive far to find a golf club. And at between $10 to $20 per person, it doesn't cost a lot, only a fraction of the green fee at actual courses. Now, at Golf Zone, which is Korea's leading screen golf provider, there are approximately 1.7 million members, and they've rolled out a new system where users can have a look at the video and help correct their posture, making it all the more appealing.
GDR은 기존의 골프존의 시스템에 있던 리얼이나 비전 시스템에서 기록들을 분석하면서 실시간으로 확인하고 분석을 함으로 인해서 나의 실력 향상에 좀 더 도움을 줄 수 있도록 하였습니다. 전년도 기준으로 505개의 3천만 이상의 이용객이 골프장을 이용하고 있습니다.
After launching back in 2000, Golf Zone now boasts the biggest share in the global simulated golf market, leading a $1.7 billion industry. But experts say in order for Korea's golf sector to gain more global status, it's important to make it a more accessible sport.
정부가 이제 골프 대중화를 촉진시키기 위해서 2000년 초부터 해운제 골프장은 중과세율, 높은 세율을 계속 부과하는 반면에 대중 골프장 퍼블릭에 대해서는 세율도 일반 세율을 적용하면서 그린피가 해운제보다 4만 원 정도 쌉니다. 이미 국내 시장이 이제 공급자, 골프장 중심으로 형성되는 공급자 시장에서 수요자가 선택하는 수요자 시장으로 바뀌고 있기 때문에 이런 대중화 추세는 더욱더 빨라질 것으로 예상됩니다.
So there's a lot of money that's flowing in and out of the golf industry, it looks like, and there's going to be what's called the President's Cup to be held in Incheon next month. So there's a lot more to be excited about the industry. And I hear that the female players in golf drive a significant interest and love for this sport.
That's right, and that's because for the most part, female Korean pro golfers have been outshining their male counterparts in international tournaments and therefore drew a lot of the attention. And where attention goes, money follows. The total prize fund for the KLPGA Tour this year stands at around $15.5 million, which is roughly twice that for the KPGA Tour. And also there are more sponsors involved in the KLPGA, and the majority of notable junior golfers are females as well.
Well, I guess for the golf industry to grow further, we need to see more professional golfers and amateur golfers pick up. What's the government doing to support this industry?
Well, even with 20% of the population playing golf and the golf course market surpassing the $3 billion mark, it still costs over $200 per person to play at a golf course, which is prohibitively expensive for a lot of people. So the government has laid out plans to lower the fees at golf courses, and hopefully this will invite more people to take up the sport.
I see. Well, now we know how much money is moving with each swing. Thank you, Ms. Arirang, for your report.
My pleasure.
That's all we have on Money Matters. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll bring you plenty of stories as they unfold in Asia and give you a view of the changing landscape of business in the region. I'm Kim Il-sun. Thanks for watching.